New rhythm time. So we've spoken about the semi-breve, which is worth 4 beats. So now we're going to talk about the minim, which is worth 2 beats. Now our minim and minim rest also could be called a half note or a half note rest. So minim rest worth 2 instead of 4. So if you're playing a minim, you'll notice that it looks like our semi-breve, but the difference is that it has a little stick. And you'll notice that the rest looks very similar, except instead of hanging off the line, it sits on top of the line. So those are the differences to look out for between our semi-breve and our minim. Now, having a look at our first piece, I have just used minims, nothing else, minims and minim rests. So we play a B flat for 2 beats, then we need to tongue. So put your tongue up to the top of your mouth and you need to create a T sound. So as if you're saying T, T, T. So tongue to the top of your mouth, just behind your front teeth or a little bit further back, and then drop your tongue, and that will disrupt the airflow. So the air you want to be blowing fairly straight, and then all of a sudden you just disrupt it with your tongue. So it's going to sound something like this, starting with the B flat. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Now, you'll notice that I didn't take a breath after every note, and I also didn't stop the air. So I wasn't going da, da, da. If you do that, you'll notice that you start to get really dizzy because you're basically hyperventilating. So just be really mindful. The airstream needs to be constant. And then all we want to do is put the tongue to the top of our mouth to disrupt the airflow. Ta, ta, ta. Not ta, 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 because you will get dizzy. Okay, number 2. We play for 2, rest for 2, play for 2, rest for 2, play for 2, rest. You get the idea. Have a look at the music. Okay, B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's exercise 2. Okay, and now for exercise 3. Now you'll notice that suddenly we've got our semi-breve note, we've also got our minims, we've got our minim rests. There are, however, no semi-breve rests. So the rests are only worth 2. So the first bar, you've got to play for 4. Then you have to rest for 2. Play for 2, play for 2, play for 2, rest for 2. Play for 2, play for 4. Rest for 2. Play for 2, play for 2, play for 2, play for 4. Now this one could be a little bit tricky, so don't be afraid to sort of stop, start, play it and work through it a couple of times. You probably won't get it the first time. So let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Now, I'm going to play it once more really slowly, so to give you a little bit more time to think about things and also to move your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. So don't be afraid to slow things down if you need to. The only thing you have to remember is that you maintain a consistent tempo or a consistent speed from start to finish. So you'll notice when I count in, that is the count or the beat or the feeling that I carry all the way through the piece. Okay, exercise 4. So we play for 2, rest for 2, play for 4, play for 2, rest for 2, play for 4, rest for 4, play for 2, rest for 2, play for 2, rest for 2, play for 4. So make sure you're reading the music. It can get a little bit confusing. Exercise 4, starting on an A. A 1, 2, 3, 4. How is that? So don't be afraid, slow it down if you need to. Okay, exercise 5 and our final piece for this page. Let's give it a go. Starting on a B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, don't be afraid to stay on this page and practice those pieces a couple of times a day or even for a week or two. And even after you've moved past this page, feel free to come back and work through these pieces. You'll notice in about a month's time, if you keep up regular practice, you'll come back to this and you'll be like, this is so easy. And it's probably not how you're feeling right now. So keep battling through, keep making as best a sound as you can, and do your best. And